Hey, hello, hello, hello. I'm Marcia Bent from Think Premium GA. And yeah, let's do another question and answer segment. It's been a minute since I've done one of these. Um yeah, let's do the topic of entrepreneurship. What are five things I wish somebody would have told me before getting into entrepreneurship the first time? One, that gonna be hard. You're gonna be doing it where no one's gonna support you, not even persons who said, yeah, you should have a business and totally support you. Yeah, you should really go in business for yourself. Start business for yourself. Nobody. So that's one. Understand the real meaning of you getting into business. Going into business to try and be rich is a very poor idea for starting a business. Why? Because you're broke most of the time. Okay. You don't go in business to get rich right away. You go in business to build an asset that will allow you to get rich maybe in 5 to 10 years. That's what we're doing. So it's a long game. It takes a lot of pain, a lot of sacrifice going into it to build a business. Another thing is that in building a business, the first thing you need a stopgap. So you need something to keep the bills paid, keep the food on the table while you are building a business. Because guess what? If you don't have money, you're going to stop your business after a while. Because a business that's not making money is a hobby. You have a hobby. That's a business. You have a hobby. So that's one thing, right? Another another thing I would say that I wish I knew before going into business is, do you want the success that you see many of the big persons having on TED Talks or in their YouTube videos, etc., understand that you're gonna have to struggle to get that. Like, there's a reason why they got their blessing. They went through stuff that the average person isn't prepared to go. And if you want extraordinary blessings, understand that you're going to go with extraordinary tests. That that's what makes testimonies. Those big testimonies, they came with big tests. And many people fail them tests. I'm just like, no. Don't be out here wishing and hoping and envying what you see somebody else enjoying, because you don't know what they went through to get. You don't know the context. You're seeing the content on social media or in real life or wherever. You don't know the context of them having such things. You don't know. If you really knew, you probably wouldn't want it, right? It's rough. I mean, with entrepreneurship, it sounds so sexy to put on a business card, put on your resume, but well, it's not all, you know, the hype is cracked up to be around it, but it's one of the most rewarding experiences of your entire life if you get to stick around and build it, because you get to help people your way. If you go into it with the desire to help people. Initially, I thought I did, but I didn't. I was going into it to me. I was frankly just rebellious because I didn't really have a lot of good experiences in a 9 to 5 setting. I don't think I've ever had that, right? But just know that if you really want to be an entrepreneur, it's rough. And trust me, there are the stories of the bills not being paid, they not being able to pay your staff, not being able to buy groceries. You name it, the stories are there. You worrying about if today would be the day you have to shut down. What's life gonna look like? The stories are there, right? So just know that you're going into business with that. Understand as well that not only is it lonely building your business, but you will have to understand that your unhealed trauma will make a full appearance, debut, whole show during your period of isolation. So all of those unhealed traumas, all of that unhealed issues, all of that pain, That's gonna come up while you're trying to build your business because it's a very emotional thing. You're trying to give birth to a business, which is why focusing on your mental health is so important. Because if you don't take care of yourself, hurt people, you're gonna bleed all over somebody else that didn't cut you, and it's just gonna be bloody, you know? So you never want that. You want to take care of yourself because guess what? Not taking care of yourself prevents you from being a good mentee. So let's say you get a good mentor, which is something you need as a business owner. You're going to pick people that seem like good mentors, but are really counterfeits. They're trying to use you to get what they want. And because you're so used to being hurt and used and struggling for validation, you're going to think they're mentors when they're actually not. And they're trying to play you, but you're too damaged to see it. And for the mentors that are actually pouring into you, you're going to take their criticism, though constructive, negatively. You're going to hurt yourself. It's going to become assholes. So they're going to be giving you feedback and you're not going to accept it. You're not even going to process it. It's going to be like trying to throw seed on concrete. That's not going to germinate in many cases. So if you really want to be in the best position possible to receive mentorship and guidance as an entrepreneur, you need to heal your trauma. You need to heal your stuff. God ain't gonna bless your mess. God ain't gonna bless your mess, boo. God loves us. God knows we're imperfect beings. God knows we're all trying. But God ain't gonna bless your mess. If you know you have trauma, it's gonna be, how hard it is to hear from God and have a relationship with God with your unhealed trauma. Because deep down, you don't even have like the faith because of the hurt that you'd have been through until you learn to deal with your unhealed trauma. It affects everything, including how you show up in business. Insecurities can be used against you. In The Art of Seduction by Robert Greene, they highlighted insecurities are dangerous. Do you know many people were taken down based on their insecurities? How do you think Cleopatra messed around with all of those dudes? She capitalized on her insecurities. They're easy to use. So you need to fix the insecurities or else they will always be used against you. And I can tell you from experience, that's what happened to me. So you're gonna have people walk all over you because you have no boundaries. Ain't nobody gonna respect you. Down to your cleaning lady, to the persons that you claim to have working for you, or people you have hired, to persons who you think would have been your mentors because you don't even respect yourself. And the best form of self-love is boundaries. And until you put up a boundary, you have not really healed in a particular area. And it's something I've had to learn. It's hard. Trust me, healing is painful. It really is. But until you heal, you'll never really be okay. And in order to set up a boundary, you have to be committed to healing. Have you ever seen somebody erect a metal fence or any type of fence? You only have to dig up the area, they have to disrupt the area, get rid of all of the pretty grass that was there, any flowers that were there that sprung up on their own, get rid of any rocks to build up the structure, dig holes in the ground and make it nice and deep so you can erect the structures. You're going to have people trampling over the area to get the things erected. It's going to take a while for the grass to grow back to fill in the cracks. Yeah, you have to disrupt the space, and disrupting is painful because that's when all your negative issues come to the forefront. The forefront. You're someone that struggles with alcoholism, um, pornography, masturbation, drug use, people pleasing, a whole heap of stuff. If you struggle with that because of the stress that you're experiencing as an entrepreneur, there are going to be moments where it's going to be hard not to drift back into that. And you not drifting back into that, that's where your willpower is going to be fortified. So the good news is, I mean, you're gonna be great with willpower if you're really committed to changing. The bad news is, man, you are gonna be tested though. And that's another thing. Like as being an entrepreneur, you have to be committed to personal growth and development. You have to be willing to build yourself while you're building a business. If not, gonna struggle. You're gonna fail. You'll still struggle nonetheless. But at least as you're building yourself while you're building your business, you come out better in 5 years' time, for example, versus if you didn't do it. So you just have to keep building. And what's another thing that people don't tell you is that your association will literally kill your business. If you're around friends and family members that don't believe in your business, you spend the most of your time around them. Don't expect to stay in business very long. They will kill your business. Their comments and glances and body language alone will kill your business. I've seen it happen. I was raised in an environment where I saw that happen. Love my parents dearly, but I saw it happen. I was around people, friends that did that to me. Their comments alone, like when I cut them off eventually, I really had to look back on the situation and be like, yo, I had losers as friends. As a matter of fact, I've never had a friend a day in my life. I mean, honestly, like some of my better friendships actually came now. Can you imagine? So if you're wondering why you're not doing well in business, don't just look on you. Don't just look in the mirror, but look on who's around you. Because if you don't have the right people around you, it gets into your mind. Poor company ruins good character. It's not a lie. It's a fact. Iron sharpens iron. So if you want to build a thriving business, you need to get around other entrepreneurs. You have to find a way to get around other entrepreneurs, and the best way to do so is to give service. It's hard, yeah, but you have to be a friend in order to make a friend. And you have to heal in order to be able to make healthy relationships. So it still goes back to your healing. It still goes back to your mental health. Because garbage in, garbage out. You leak out what's already inside you. So if you are realizing that everywhere you go, you have horrible relationships, you always end up in some conflict, some stress, you and so on, so not getting along, XYZ. Sometimes the problem isn't the problem. Sometimes the problem is you. And I can say that because I've lived it. Yes, I've lived it. So you might want to look in the mirror. And that again comes from unhealed trauma. And where it hurts is where the trauma is. So if there's that one statement that keeps triggering you, that means that there's trauma there that you need to fix. That's the best. That's the best thing with having a trigger. At least you know where the issue is. Just like if you see smoke, you know there's fire or something burning somewhere around it. Smoke spreads. That's the only challenge. Smoke can spread, but at least you know that there's an issue somewhere. So it forces you to look. All right, and lastly, because I'm just freestyling here, I'm not really covering stuff in any specific order. I'm just like talking based on experience. Learn to make peace with money and learn to make peace with sowing ties. Like learn to have a relationship with God, learn the importance of sowing, and learn the importance of budgeting. If you know how to sow effectively, you will find that you get better with budgeting. And the better you get with budgeting, the better you get with your business. Is it hard to budget when you have absolutely no money coming in? Yes, because you're budgeting on nada, zero, zero, nothing. But at least when the money comes, you know how to have it. And you always want to give God the money first, because God is the one that allowed you to have your money in the first place. So you need to give God his money first. Give God his 10% tithes, because the little that you have, if you know how to use it well, God will bless you a lot. Is it hard? Yes. And you know what a lot of people don't realize? Not being good with money is also a sign of trauma. If you struggle with self-worth, if you struggle with insecurities, if you struggle with not feeling worthy, self-loathing, You know that can also reflect in your finances based on how you spend money. You consistently being in a cycle of need, a consistent situation where you're always borrowing, always begging. Do, does that mean that everybody who begs is going through that? No. But if you see that there's a consistent cycle of it happening, you may need to check if you have any unhealed financial trauma. And let's say, children who would have experienced like sexual traumas, or even adults with like relational trauma issues, neglect, etc., you struggle with a sense of unworthiness, which means that because you struggle with a sense of unworthiness, you don't think you're worth having a lot of money. So if you even get money, you burn it off. And you have wealthy people that have financial trauma, by the way. Yeah, it is there. Just because you have money, that doesn't mean that you're okay and you necessarily have the best idea of how to spend money. And you see when those people go broke. You see with lottery winners all the time because they fix the pocket, but they never fix the mindset. So they don't keep the money. And money likes being around people that know how to cherish it. Just like a good woman wants to be around a man that knows how to cherish her, a good man wants to be around a good woman that knows how to value, appreciate, and respect him. Money likes to be appreciated. Money likes to be around people that know how to appreciate and make more money. And if you don't have money, yeah, that you need to look at that. And that's something I've had to assess with myself as well. Remember, I'm just freestyling in this video. So everything I'm telling you now, these are lessons I wish somebody would have told me 7 years ago when I would have just started my business. Last point. Anybody remember the story of Jesus coming off the boat? Right after he walked on water and he ended up um going away from all of the disciples and you know going going to spend time with God right before he'd have gotten like right before everything would have went down in terms of like um other events, or even with him entering the Garden of Gethsemane for him to be tested and walking through the wilderness where he was like tested by the devil 3 different occasions before he was comforted by the angels. I think that's what Matthew 4 or something like that. Yeah, it's Matthew. Yeah. I'm still learning my Bible, guys. So don't judge me if I get some of the stories wrong. But I am still learning. So I think that was it. Don't wait until when you think the end comes to celebrate and think you're going to be happy. That's not usually the case. You're always going to be tested in life. New levels, new devils. So you have to learn to find happiness each day. Regardless of what is happening, you have to learn to find ways to make yourself happy. Because guess what? What is inside of you always comes out. If you're having a rough day inside, it's going to show on your face. It's going to show in your tone of voice. It's going to show in your disposition. Always try and think happy thoughts. Is it hard? Are you human and will you slip up? Will you always have a smile on your face? And that's okay. We're all human. But what I can say is learn to find the good in every situation. Learn to find God in every situation without ceasing, because what you do with a little is what you do with a lot. All right. And that's why you should always pray without ceasing. And you should always not only work in faith and hand things over to Him, but also give yourself some grace. Like, understand that you're doing the best you can. You don't have all the answers, and you're not expected to have all the answers. You are not meant to fix the storm. You're meant to go through the storm and survive it. Just remember that. Stop trying to go around here being Bob the Builder and Jane the Builder. Nobody's asking you to do that. You just need to survive the storm, learn what you need to learn from it so you can help others. Because mentorship without helping others is a waste. All right. So that is pretty much it for me. I'm gonna wrap up here, but just a reminder, I do offer digital marketing services like social media marketing, email marketing, blogging, other forms of sales copywriting. I have two online courses, which details are in the description down below, and I do offer business consultation services where I help businesses to achieve their sales and marketing goals. And again, all of that's down below. Plus, I also have an online store where I sell products that you're probably going to be running out of in the next 2 weeks anyway, like laundry detergent, fabric softener, um, meal replacement shakes, protein powders, multivitamins, etc. So, yeah, check out the description down below. Learn more about that. That's pretty much it for me. Take care. Bye bye. And remember to never stop dreaming. Take care.